What if your back pain isn't just physical, but the echo of a thought you never released? What if the pounding headaches, the tight chest, or the chronic fatigue you keep medicating aren't random at all, but hidden messages from within? Think about it. You've tried pills, quick fixes, even endless doctor visits. Relief comes, but only for a while. And then, the pain returns, louder than before, demanding your attention. Doesn't it feel like your body is trying to tell you something you've been ignoring? Here's the truth no one dares to say. The medicine you're looking for doesn't always come in bottles. Sometimes it comes from silence, from awareness, from the courage to look within. As the Zen masters teach, the body is the mind made visible. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you bury, every fear you cling to, it doesn't just vanish. It carves itself into your posture, your breath, your heartbeat. Stress hardens the muscles. Regret sits heavy in the chest. Anger burns in the stomach. Your body is not betraying you. It's reflecting you. And here's the promise. By the end of this journey, you'll understand how changing your inner world can directly heal the body and how caring for the body can purify the mind. You'll see that true healing doesn't mean fighting against yourself. It means listening, honoring, and realigning with your own inner medicine. So before you swallow another pill in desperation, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what if my body isn't the enemy, but the messenger? Because once you start listening, you'll never see illness the same way again. 1. The body as a mirror. Every symptom is a reflection. That line alone can change the way you look at your body forever. Because what if the migraine that knocks you down isn't random at all? What if the tension in your shoulders, the heaviness in your chest, or the dull ache in your stomach is not just flesh and blood malfunctioning, but your inner world projected outward? The truth most of us never hear is this: the body is a mirror, faithfully showing us what the mind refuses to face. Centuries ago, a Zen monk fell gravely ill. While others cursed their sickness, he bowed to his pain. His students asked him why he welcomed it, and he said, "This illness is my mirror. It shows me where I still cling, where I still grasp. Without it, how would I see?" His answer shook them because they realized what we forget. Illness isn't just punishment. It is a reflection. It is teaching. And isn't that what so many of us miss? We numb the headache with pills, silence the insomnia with medication, suppress the anxiety with distractions, but the mirror remains. It waits for you. It whispers until it has to scream. And when you ignore the message long enough, the body will find a way to make you listen. Psychology confirms what Zen has taught for centuries. Emotions that go unprocessed don't vanish. They lodge themselves in the body. That rage you've been carrying tightens your jaw until your teeth grind at night. The fear you never spoke coils in your stomach, leaving you nauseous. The grief you buried in silence presses against your chest until you can barely breathe. The body is not betraying you. It is protecting you, showing you the truth you've been avoiding. Think about it. Anger often inflames the liver. Fear weakens the kidneys. Worry knots the stomach. Anxiety quickens the heart until it feels like a drum of panic in your chest. These aren't coincidences. These are maps. The body doesn't lie. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing not your face, but your fears reflected to you. Would you smash the mirror, or would you finally face what's there? Every symptom you feel is that kind of mirror. The pain in your lower back might not just be bad posture. It could be the weight of responsibilities you've never put down. The tension in your neck might not just be sleeping wrong. It could be the burden of words you've swallowed instead of spoken. One Zen master once told his students, "When you fight your body, you fight yourself. But when you bow to your body, you bow to truth." That is the turning point, to stop waging war against your symptoms and instead begin asking, "What are you trying to show me?" Here's a practice, simple but profound. The next time you feel pain, don't rush for the bottle of pills right away. Place your hand gently on the area. Close your eyes. Whisper, "What are you trying to show me?" And then listen, maybe not with your ears, but with your heart. Sometimes the answer won't come in words. It will come in a memory, a feeling, a sudden clarity. Imagine a woman with constant migraines. Doctors prescribed stronger and stronger medications, but nothing lasted. One day in desperation, she sat in silence and placed her hands on her temples. The memory of her father's harsh words surfaced, pressure she had carried for decades. Her pain was not random. It was the echo of unspoken burdens. The migraines began to ease when she learned to forgive, to let go. This is why every symptom is not your enemy, but your mirror. When you learn to see it that way, the body stops being a battlefield and becomes a guide. Illness stops being random and becomes a teacher. But seeing the reflection alone is not enough. A mirror shows you the stain, but it doesn't clean it. A symptom reveals the wound, but doesn't heal it. True healing begins when you learn to shift the mind itself, to replace poison with medicine, darkness with light. And that is where we must go next. Because if every symptom is a reflection of the mind, then the most powerful cure begins not with the body, but with the thoughts you choose to carry. So let's take the next step together into the secret of how a single thought can make your body sick or set it free. 2. Changing the mind to heal the body. A single toxic thought can poison cells, but a gentle one can restore them. Pause and let that sink in. Because while most people believe sickness begins in the body, the truth is often harsher. Sickness begins in the mind. Think of the moments when worry kept you awake at night, when resentment sat heavy on your chest, when shame twisted your stomach. Were those simply thoughts? Or were they poisons dripping into every corner of your being? Zen wisdom teaches, the mind is a garden, thoughts are seeds. What grows depends on what you plant. Imagine sowing seeds of anger every day. Would you be surprised to find your body burning with inflammation? Imagine planting fear daily. Would it shock you when your body trembles, your breath shortens, and your kidneys weaken? The garden of your body cannot escape the seeds you scatter in the soil of your mind. A story is told of a Zen master who suffered from chronic pain in his legs. Doctors found no cure. Students pitied him, but the master only smiled. Each morning, as pain surged, he whispered words of metta, loving kindness. May this body be at peace. May all beings be free from suffering. At first, the pain roared louder, like a fire resisting water, but slowly it softened. Months later, the master was seen walking freely. Pain had dissolved. He did not fight the body, he transformed the soil of thought from which the pain was born. Modern psychology echoes this ancient truth. Rumination, those cycles of dark, repetitive thinking, drowns the brain in cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol is no silent visitor. It inflames the heart, weakens immunity, tightens muscles, and clouds memory. But when thoughts shift, when we introduce kindness, calm, or gratitude, the nervous system changes course. The body exhales, cells begin to repair, the immune system recalibrates. Healing is not only possible, it is natural once the inner storm clears. Think about the words you feed yourself daily. I am broken. I'll never get better. I'm too old. These are not harmless. They are commands your body obeys. If you keep declaring yourself broken, the body believes it and weakens. But here lies your power. You can choose different commands. You can choose to whisper instead, my body knows how to restore itself. Say it again and again until the cells hear it. Thoughts are not just echoes in your head. They are signals shaping your flesh. Here is a practice for you. The next time you feel pain, don't just groan. Don't just reach for relief. Pause. Place your hand gently where it hurts. Then breathe slowly and replace the poison thought with a healing one. If your mind says, this will never go away, counter it with, every breath brings me closer to balance. If the mind says, I am weak, replace it with, strength is already within me. Do this not once, but daily, like watering seeds in a garden. Because the weeds of despair grow fast, but so do the flowers of compassion if you tend to them. In Zen temples, students are taught that the mind is like a mirror. If anger fogs the glass, the world looks distorted. If fear cracks the glass, everything appears broken. But when the mirror is cleaned with gentle thoughts, reality reflects clearly. The body and the world appear whole again. Think of your mind right now. Is it a mirror clouded with judgments, resentments, and fear? Or is it a mirror polished by patience, kindness, and trust? Your body answers that question before your words do. And yet here is the paradox. While thoughts are powerful, they cannot carry the full weight of healing. You cannot think your way out of every illness. Sometimes the mind must quiet completely. Sometimes healing doesn't come from more thoughts, but from stepping beneath them, into stillness, into silence, into the space where the body finally remembers how to repair itself. And that is where we must go next. Because beyond words, beyond affirmations, beyond the chatter of the mind, lies the greatest medicine of all, silence. 3. Healing through stillness and presence. Silence is not emptiness, it's medicine. Most people run from silence. They keep the TV on while they eat, scroll endlessly before bed, and drown every pause with noise. But here is the truth no one wants to face. Your body is begging for silence, and every time you ignore it, the body screams louder. Through headaches, sleepless nights, panic attacks, and chronic pain. The silence you fear may be the medicine you've been searching for all along. In Zen tradition, silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of life itself. A story is told of a hermit who once struggled with crippling anxiety. His thoughts raced like wild horses. His heart pounded at every shadow. No physician could calm him. No herbs could soothe him. Finally, he withdrew into the mountains with nothing but a robe and a bowl. Each morning, he sat in stillness and breathed. At first, the silence was unbearable, like standing in front of a mirror, reflecting every fear at him. But slowly, something shifted. The chaos within began to settle. His heart softened, his body loosened. His breath became an anchor instead of a storm. Months later, when villagers found him, they said simply being in his presence felt like standing in sunlight. His medicine had not been outside. It had been in stillness all along. Why is stillness so powerful? Because the nervous system was never designed to live in constant alarm. Stress tightens muscles, accelerates the heartbeat, inflames the blood, and clouds the mind. But when you enter silence, your body receives permission to reset. The flood of stress hormones slows. Inflammation begins to decrease. The mind and body, often at war, begin to move in harmony, like a pond settling after a storm. Clarity rises only when the water is still. Think of how many nights you've gone to bed with your mind racing. The body lies exhausted, but the thoughts refuse to let go. And so you wake up drained, your immune system weakened, your mood heavy. What if instead you gave yourself just 2 minutes of silence before sleep? No phone, no distractions. Simply sit or lie down, close your eyes, place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Feel the rise and fall of breath. Notice the heartbeat slowing, like a drum moving into rhythm with the earth. 2 minutes of silence can do more for your healing than 2 hours of anxious scrolling. In Buddhism, the body is seen as a temple, but a temple cannot heal if it is constantly filled with noise and chaos. Stillness sweeps the floors, clears the altar, and opens the windows for fresh air. When monks sit in meditation, they are not trying to do something. They are allowing the body to repair itself without interference. Because the truth is, your body already knows how to heal. Every cut closes on its own. Every broken bone remembers its shape. But the mind, restless, worried, fearful, interrupts this natural process. Stillness removes the interference. Healing begins not when you fight harder, but when you finally get out of your own way. Ask yourself, when was the last time you allowed yourself to be truly still? Not asleep, not distracted, but awake in silence? If your answer is never, then perhaps this is why the body cries louder each day. The world convinces you healing comes in bottles, in treatments, in endless effort. But the monks have always known, healing begins the moment you stop running. Here is your practice. Tonight, before you close your eyes, give yourself the gift of 2 minutes. Sit in silence. Feel the breath. Listen not for sound, but for the spaces between. Let your thoughts wander like clouds, but do not chase them. Notice how your body softens as you simply allow yourself to be. Do this for a week and watch how sleep deepens. Do this for a month and watch how pain lessens. Do this for a lifetime and watch how the body and mind become one seamless, peaceful whole. Stillness is not an escape. It is a homecoming. It is the return to the place where your body and mind remember they are not enemies, but reflections of one another. In silence, fear finds no soil. In silence, the body begins to repair wounds deeper than flesh. And in silence, you remember that healing is not something you must earn. It is your natural state. Your body reflects your mind. When you heal one, the other follows. This truth is simple, but it is not easy to live with, because most people spend their whole lives treating the body as if it were separate, as if the aches, the pains, the illnesses were accidents or punishments. But what if every symptom was a whisper from within? What if the back pain you carry is a memory of resentment? The insomnia is the echo of unspoken fears. The fatigue is the weight of thoughts that never rested. Suddenly, the body is no longer your enemy. It is your most faithful messenger. Healing is not far. It does not wait in the pharmacy, nor does it hide in expensive treatments. Healing begins here in this moment. It begins with your next breath, the breath that tells your body you are safe. It begins with your next thought, the thought that says, I am not broken. I am learning to return to balance. It begins with your next pause, the pause where silence becomes medicine, and the nervous system finally exhales. So I ask you gently, which practice will you begin tonight? Will you listen to your body instead of fighting it? Will you shift your inner dialogue from poison to medicine? Will you allow yourself 2 minutes of stillness to feel the miracle of being alive? I invite you to share in the comments which practice resonated most with you. When you do, you create a ripple of healing, not just for yourself, but for others who are silently struggling. Share this message with someone who needs the reminder that their body and mind are not enemies, but allies. And as you go, carry this blessing. May your mind be kind, your body light, and your life a reflection of harmony. For when your inner world is healed, the outer world begins to change too.